So I'm Chine McDonald. I'm Head of Community Fundraising and Public Engagement. I'm passionate about Christianity being a force for good in the world, and I think thinking about international development, what better way to show God's love to all of humanity than working for the dignity, equality and justice, which is at the heart of Christian Aid's mission. Christian Aid Week is the moment in the annual calendar for Christian Aid where we rally together 55,000 supporters in a normal year around the UK to fundraise with their communities, with their churches, to raise money for some of the programmes that we work on around the world as Christian Aid. And it is our biggest fundraising moment. In a usual year, we would raise around £7 million in that week, and that is thanks to the wonderful generosity of our supporters. So really, it's about communities in the UK connecting with each other, but to help communities who are much further away, our global neighbours who are experiencing some of the most difficult situations that human beings can face. And that is what Christian Aid Week is all about. So we didn't cancel Christian Aid Week, it was definitely not cancelled, but we moved very quickly towards our coronavirus response, because obviously the communities that we work with around the world were also being impacted by COVID-19 as we were in the UK. So in a way, for the first time ever, we had stories that our communities in the UK could really understand how devastating it would be, how even more devastating it would be for poor and marginalised communities. So we basically pivoted towards more digital fundraising. We went towards an e-envelope, which is a digital envelope rather than having the kind of iconic red envelopes that go through people's doors. So this year, in a way, is in some ways more complicated than last year, because last year there was a definite you cannot meet people face to face, and you cannot do street collections, you cannot do house to house collections. This year, we are in this kind of strange in-between time, so in between kind of digital fundraising and things being back to normal. So in a way, it's been far more complex for people in my team to understand what we need to communicate to our supporters. But really, we are harnessing a lot of the creativity from the digital that we did last year, alongside some kind of in-person types of events that people can do. So we have gone back to the issue of climate change in Kenya, because actually long after coronavirus has gone, the climate crisis is still the biggest crisis facing the future of humanity. I think it was really heartwarming as a global organisation for us all to be in it together in a way that we hadn't been before. So usually you would have lots of other countries facing humanitarian crises or hunger, famine, or natural disasters, and the UK kind of protected from that, whereas all of us were in this together. So in a way there was this levelling globally. And the fact that we were all working from home and therefore on our computer screens meant that there wasn't this kind of group of us in London with people kind of elsewhere dialing in. So I think it's really been fascinating for the future of our organisation, but also helping us to understand each other as equals. I just love my job so much. Because I think it is incredibly hard and incredibly full on. But I guess there are two sides of it. One is just seeing our UK supporters and how passionate they are about this organisation that has been a part of their family history or their upbringing as we've existed for 75 years. And the creativity that our supporters show and the generosity and the passion for the cause. It's really amazing to see that in my particular role in community fundraising, but also the impact that we can have in some of the countries around the world that we work in, and the value that is placed on Christian Aid's work for those who often are in the most dire situations, who are facing humanitarian disasters or conflict or various different crises, we're able to help in some way. And I think for me as a Christian, I think that God doesn't favour certain groups of people in certain countries. I think God created us all in his image, and therefore each of us, every single one of us, is worthy of inherent value and dignity and worth. Yes, so my absolute favourite Bible verse is Ephesians 3:20. Now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us. And I just love this sense of God being bigger than we can imagine, God wanting more for us than we can imagine. And I think that God wants that same sense of kind of value and worth and love for me as he does for a grandmother living in Kenya and facing the effects of climate change.